Hello, lodges of the new Territory 40, which is Alberta, Montana, and Wyoming and western Nebraska. Uh, my name is Dan Evans, and I am the traveling territory manager for your territory right now. I used to be a territory manager and liaison in Indiana, and I normally do a video once a week, just covering the basics. I try to keep it pretty short. This time won't be super short, only because there's a few things we have to cover. So we'll just get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the convention registration for Oklahoma City. The deadline for early registration is the 29th, so that's this coming up Friday. You want to make sure you get that done. It saves you a few bucks. If you don't get it done in time, you can register on site at convention. That's your only other choice, and then it costs a little bit more to do it there. And I suggest getting it done right away. I do want to remind everybody that it is a requirement for lodges to have representation at convention. So even if it's not your president or administrator, someone else can go. And then the lodge does need to vote on them being the delegate, so they can vote on things as the lodge representative. Again, you just have to have a letterhead stating the lodge name and number. The meeting was held, and the board and the membership approved for so and so to be the delegate for the convention. Excuse me. Um, there are still hotel rooms available. You can find both those things, the registration and hotel information, on the Moose International website. The hotels that are closest to the convention center are probably filled up now, but the ones that are further away, there will be buses that go back and forth from the hotels to the convention center. Again, if you go to the Moose International website, any of those hotels that are listed on there will have buses going to them to pick up. Excuse me. It is after May 1st, so it is time to be doing 990s. Again, this is the most important form that we fill out in the lodges. I don't always like telling everybody to just do something. I like to explain why. So the 990 is kind of like the tax form, like we do our personal taxes. It's the one form that we send into the IRS that is extremely important. There are a couple lodges that are behind on that. We have till September 15th to get them done, to file them. We don't want to wait till the last minute though. So lodges, you should already have your reconciliation done for April. Should have it done by May 10th. So that should already be completed. So you should be working on your 990s now. You want to try to get them done and get them out of the way so you don't have to worry about them. Waiting to the last minute is always a headache and causes a lot of problems in lodges. So please don't wait. Also, administrators, if you're sharing information with your lodges, let your board of officers and your membership know where you're at in the process of filing your 990s. Then let your officers know when it's completed. I'm surprised at how many officers I talk to and they don't even know what a 990 is. You should be sharing that information with them. I've already gotten a few phone calls from some lodges on this one. So the lodge safety inspection form that most of you are used to filling out in May and having completed by the end of the month, that process has changed. I'll be discussing a little bit more about the trip I'm going to next week at Mooseheart. But the form has been sent out, but those forms will now be done by the territory manager. So luckily you'll have me coming to the lodge with the admin and going through those. So don't worry about it. It's on me to come there with you, set up a time, what information I will need, and we'll go through that together. Again, so next week is our meeting at Mooseheart. It's also Mooseheart graduation and pilgrim conferral, so we'll be out there. I think there are a few things on that form that may change, so that's why I'm waiting until after that date to start setting up times to come to lodges to do that. So more will come out about that. But for those of you who have wondered where that form's at, you don't have it anymore. It's being done by your territory manager. Last week I sent out weekly stats. This week I will get them out, but with Monday being a holiday, it may be a day late, it may be Tuesday, because some of that information gets compiled together by someone at Moose International, then I use that information to make those weekly stats. I do try to get those out every week. The Moose charities, though, they only report their giving once a month, so that will only be updated periodically. It won't be updated every week. If you have trouble reading those numbers, don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask questions. It seems like in past when I've had that weekly stats and I've had it in other territories, people get very confused come the first of the month why they drop their numbers so drastically. So those numbers are updated every week, and you have to remember that, say the Monday is the first of a new month. You have all those people that expired on the 30th or 31st in your lodge, and so the next day it shows that number drop. So those numbers early in the month, don't let them freak you out, because we'll get people to renew. You'll have new memberships by the end of the month. It always looks better at the end of the month. Also, those numbers, sometimes we have to remember, just much like the end of the year was just done, when someone goes online and pays their dues and renews, or the lodge does it in LCL, it takes up to 72 hours, technically 3 business days, for that to show up sometimes. So it's a possibility that you put in somebody on Friday and renewed them, and then those numbers aren't necessarily showing up on Monday, so it may take more than a week for them to come and show up in those numbers. But that's about the best way we have to give you a weekly inventory of where your membership is. So again, look at those numbers. If you have questions in the future, don't hesitate to ask. Again, I'm going to try to get into all the lodges after convention is over, because we'll be doing all those lodge surveys. One last thing I should have mentioned in the very beginning. So again, I said I'm the traveling territory manager. I'm not your permanent territory manager. With the restructuring of the territories, Glenn didn't leave. Glenn just has a new territory, and it's cut up a little bit south of the old territory. So we are looking for somebody to be a territory manager in this area. So please, when you get those weekly communications from Moose International and you're sharing that with your board and your membership, please let them know that there's a job opening in this territory for a territory manager. Please read the requirements, and if anybody has a sincere interest in becoming a territory manager, give them my information, and I will talk to them and tell them what it involves. Again, this one went a little bit longer than normal. Most of my videos in the future will be more generic to Moose stuff across the board, because there are more than just people in this territory that watch this channel sometimes. So it won't involve necessarily state gaming, state liquor laws, things like that, because those are state specific, and I have to be careful sometimes of saying something about one of those things and it being different, because people from 50 different states watching this video and then say, wait a minute, that's not the rule in my state. So I kind of stay away from those things. But if you have questions about liquor laws or gaming laws or state filing laws, please reach out to me. I don't know all of the answers for some of those, but I am willing to learn, and we'll find them all out. You guys have a very good week. We'll see you later. Bye.